Animalia sometimes can be very harsh. A solo lion in this situation had no chance of surviving. But before this, I have to take you guys back to the very beginning to show you how all of this happened. And this is the story of my road to elder. We start our life like any other lion. Spawned in, luckily this time, we have pride and we have a beautiful family. There was not really much to do in the very beginning. We had food, we had protection, and mostly we had a home. So the only thing that I could do is this AFK grow. I decided to venture a little bit and explore Pride Rock, but because we're still a baby lion, we don't jump very well. We fell in a place that was rather difficult to get out, but luckily for me, one of my uncles was nearby to rescue and save me from this day. Embarrassed from what just happened, I decided to stay put next to my mother and wait until I grown into a juvie. A new day has begun, and we were finally juvies. We still had a long way to hit elder, and perhaps, who knows, we might even start our family. We might even die. Our family was growing pretty fast, so eventually we would have to leave once we hit adult. So for now, let's enjoy the simple things in life. Perhaps one day, when we are older enough, we will be the ones on top of that rock. we finally hit sub-adult. With this, we were one step closer to hit adult. But unfortunately, like I always say, good things never last forever. Because once we hit adult, we have to leave the pride. I decided to spend my last few minutes with my mother before I grown into an adult and leave the pride. Although the end was near, it was not yet time to be sad, because I did want to show my mother that I was able to hunt and to take care of myself. For that, I decided to hunt this gazelle and show her that her son will be okay. We have 2 new cubs to the pride. A very energetic cub, I would say. Sometimes in life, like some people say, you can't be sad because it's over. You have to be glad because it happened. And for this, I thank my mom and my pride for helping me achieve adult. With this, we start a new chapter in our lives. From this point forward, we had a lot to learn and a lot to do. Pretty lucky he didn't fall down. That would be our breakfast. In every story, a king needs a queen, because alone we won't be able to survive for long. So I'll head out in search for a queen and maybe to see if we could start a pride. I had pretty high hopes that there would be at least one herbivore here. Sadly, there is none. While I was migrating, I saw a group of leopards that caught my attention. Looks like one leopard is resting. Out of nowhere, an adult lioness emerges and starts fighting the leopard. She managed to kill one of the leopards, so I took this chance to try and see if she was friendly and if she was interested in make a family. It doesn't seem friendly. Would be nice to find a wife so that we can create our own family. After receiving a 2 call, I decide to approach and maybe bond with this lioness. And I'll be honest, probably walking around her was not the best way to conquer her heart, but for some reason, she had a change of heart. To avoid a unnecessary fight, I decide to just leave and maybe try my luck elsewhere. She's a very problematic lioness. 2 calls and then 3 calls. But I wouldn't mind having a lioness like that in my group. With that, I decide to navigate to northwest to see if I could find any other lioness available to mate. Now this was not going to be an easy task because in Animalia, a solo lion is almost target 99% of the time. So we had to avoid detection and maybe avoid the oasis. After a long journey, I came across a juvie elephant, a perfect prey for me to feast on and to replenish my hunger. But I have to be very careful because it was not alone. We had to be very careful on our approach, because this was a possible hunt, but 2 hits from the adult elephant and we might die. You can see that the adult is already looking at me. I had to prepare myself for a fight, so I decided to drink a little bit and wait for a good opportunity and a small gap that would allow me to attack the juvie elephant. A small opportunity has appeared. It seemed like the juvie elephant decided to go a different direction from the adult. This was our chance, so I decided to sneak up and finish the job. Hurt from fall damage, now it was an easy meal. With this, we have our first meal of the day as an adult lion. This goes to show that you can't separate from your parents because it will make you vulnerable and an easy target for carnivores. With a full stomach and almost hitting elder, it was time for me to rest a little bit and then try to find a group or maybe a wife. After a full rest, it was time for me to find a snack. Now, I always say this, a solo lion is no match for a pride. Going into the oasis alone, it could be a death sentence. But I had no choice because I was hungry and I needed to find a group of lions or maybe a wife to start our pride. And I do want to say this, we are not elder yet. Luckily for me, I spotted a family of hippos that were chilling in the river bend. So I took my chance and decided to strike. It took me a few seconds to realize that I've killed a baby hippo. But we had a big problem. I could not eat the body. While I was trying every possible way to eat the body, a lioness suddenly came out of nowhere. And this became problem number 2. Probably because that recall caught me off guard, because I thought that she was there to be friendly. But because I don't back from fights, I decide to retaliate. I was already at a big disadvantage because I got hit by the hippo. And to make matters worse, I was not an elder. We had to be very careful on our approach because this build does not have a lot of stamina, and as you know, lionesses are great in speed and in stamina, so if she managed to tire me out, that would be the end for me. In raw power, I would win, but because I couldn't catch her, I decided to try and do the old bait tactic. It's pretty lucky I got hit by the other. Two to three hits and that would be the death for me. So I had to be very careful on my next 2 approach. For that, I decided to use the bush as cover and a means to ambush. We both took a hit, leaving us with low HP. With that, I decided to throw on my wild card and go all at it. Well, I guess that ends the fight. I will assume that the fight is over because he jumped in combat, so that takes care of that, but I do have to be very careful if she decides to come back because we are pretty low, and you have to also keep an eye out for other prides. It was a very long and tedious battle, and because of all the commotion, I lost track on where I was. So I decided to just head north, find a place to rest, and call it a day. A new day has begun. I was fully healed but I was thirsty and famished. With that, I decided to venture to the oasis in hopes of finding a group or maybe a wife so that we could start this pride. Like I said in the beginning, playing as a solo lion in Animalia, it is pretty harsh because 90% of the times lions will try to kill you, making it almost difficult to try and find an easy group. And yes, it would be easier for us to go in global chat and ask people if they were accepting lions. But because I don't like to plan things, I like to go the difficult route. And if I had to die for it, so be it. We can try and make a friendship with them because 2 lions is better than 1. But I do want to check this side first if there's no lioness. And as I say that, I think I've seen a lion on top of that hill. Like a group, not a big pride. It has probably 2 males. And a baby. And then we have a group of 3 lionesses. Well, I won't be able to join that group because they have already males, and if they have babies, probably they're making space. But we do also have to be very careful on the females because it's not the first time that I've been jumped by a group of females. So not all females that you see in Animalia are friendly. Some of them just want to kill you, actually, so you have to be very careful. And as soon as I say that, trouble arrives. As I said that, luckily for us, I was already expecting something like this to happen. I didn't want to get cornered by those 3 lionesses because they could easily kill me. In one false step, it would be over. This was a battle of determination. I had to stand my ground because we didn't want to lose our stamina. You're trying to surround me, but it won't be easy to bring me down, even with 3. But I have to be very careful not to get hit. I was doing my best to maintain a gap between me and those 3 lions because I want to drain their stamina. I won't be able to catch any of them. You can tell one of them, and it's all the way back there, healing probably. And while she's passively healing, these ones are keeping me occupied. Let's see if they're gonna fall for this trick. Well, that ends the fight, but after one of those lionesses killed a spawned gazelle, technically the fight was over. We have another pride. I don't think they realize that the other lioness from their group killed a gazelle. So they kinda RB'd. think they haven't realized that there's a body down, but he's over there eating. If I stop to type and tell them, I'll probably get hit 2 to 3 times. Now they're jumping in combat. I know that the third is fully plenished. He's back. This is a very delicate situation. Now I have 2 males watching. And I swear, if one of them intervene, helping those lionesses, it will be a problem. Because you can tell that they're not really a part of the group. We were running out of stamina, and this was a big problem. But lucky for me, one of those white lions decided to team up and help me in this fight. Well, we have to fight fire with fire then. Oh. At least now we can kinda even the playing field a little bit. With one more lion, surely we had the upper hand. And I have to be honest, if he didn't show up, or if he didn't want to help me, that would probably be the end of us. It seems like lions can actually climb trees. In this case, lionesses. Which is pretty funny. We created a little bond, just like brotherhood. I thanked him for saving me, told him what happened, and if he wasn't there, that would be the end of our life. But as always, nothing that's good lasts forever. Our brother, our savior, had to leave, and we had to run everything solo again. He said that he would be back, but he never came. And he also told me it was best for me to change my skin to avoid getting detected by those lionesses. So that's why now we have a darker skin. And for the lion who saved me, who's watching this video, if you ever come across this video, I waited for you for almost 20 minutes, 25, and you never showed up. So I had to leave and continue our life. And I thank you for the bottom of my heart for saving me. This journey was not supposed to be easy. I was already expecting some problems, especially with other lions. So I tried again, see if I could find a pride, a group, or maybe a wife. But I soon came to realize that that would be more difficult than expected. That's why the oasis is not really a place to a solo lion. To be honest, anywhere else is not really safe. Out of curiosity, I decided to go back to where it all started. My home, Pride Rock. I wanted to see if my family was still there and if they would accept me as one of their leaders. But of course, it would not be easy because I have a different skin and they wouldn't even know that that was me. It seems like my old family is still here in Pride Rock, but they are chasing another lioness. Good to see that the family is still thriving. I don't want to get really close because I might be targeted next. I don't really have the HP for that. Sometimes it's funny when I do these recordings and I see that almost every time I say something, that actually happens. So I got spotted by one of the male lions and decided to flee because I had the distance advantage. But unfortunately for me, he had two lionesses that could easily catch up to me. I was running for dear life, but because this lion doesn't have a lot of stamina, they would eventually catch up to me and kill me. My only escape? Northeast, where there is an oasis surrounded by tall bushes. There, I could lose them and I could probably have a chance on surviving. The only problem here was the male. If he was able to catch up to me, it was going to be GG. Well, jumping combat as always. Can't let the male catch me because that will be a problem. I was able to finally lose sight of them. So surrounded by tall grass, I was in a perfect environment to camouflage myself and to heal up with no problem whatsoever. but I had to keep an eye out because you'll never know what could happen in the next few seconds. But I guess this won't be very easy to find or maybe start a family, because every lion that we come across, any pride that we come across, is trying to kill us. This was a very interesting video. It didn't really matter how much I tried. I couldn't really find a pride or a group or a wife. This shows a very reality on how Animalia is. If you try to play as a solo lion, you will probably get hunted, killed by other prides, or maybe by other carnivores. I know that every time I make this type of videos, I end up alone because it's usually how things roll. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a lioness, to start a pride. But because a lot of you guys enjoyed my road to Elder Lion, and it's a video that it's still growing up until this day, I decided to maybe do a little update, do a 2024 new road to Elder Lion, and hopefully with this style of editing you guys will enjoy it more than the previous one. Sadly for our male lion, we weren't able to do a pride or maybe find a wife, but I'm pretty glad that we survived this long journey. And with this, I will end our little road to Elder story. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video, a comment for the YouTube algorithm, and make sure to hit that subscribe button because it helps a ton the channel, and we are almost at that 5,000 subscriber mark. So Kato here, I'll catch you guys in a next video. Take care and peace.